Welcome back, algebra students. It's Mrs. Thompson. We're jumping right back into section 9.2. Now we're still graphing. We're on example 4. And how it's different from the last one that we graphed, now our A is going to be a negative number. And so that's going to really influence what this graph looks like. B is still a number that's bigger than 1. That was definitely true in the last example. We had all our B's were numbers bigger than 1. But now here's the difference. So we want to look and see what's going to change in this graph if we make A a negative number. So let's create an XY table. And then we're going to plug in negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. And remember, when you plug in a negative number as an exponent, that doesn't make that number negative. So I do want to make sure I'm perfectly clear with you, okay? When you do negative 5 times 2 to the negative 1, that's not a negative number. 2 to the negative 1 is not a negative number. It's a fraction. And so it's really 5 times, if I can draw the multiplication sign, 1/2. That's really what it's saying. And that's going to give you the fraction negative 5/2, or the decimal negative 2.5, okay? When you plug in 0, you're going to have negative 5 times 2 to the 0 power. Remember, 2 to the 0 power. Anything to the 0 power is 1. 1 times negative 5 is negative 5. Plug in negative 5 times 2 to the positive 1, okay? 2 to the positive 1 is just 2. 2 times negative 5, that's negative 10. And then negative 5 times 2 to the 2. And 2 to the 2 is 4. 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. So as you can see, if you look at all these numbers, they're all negative. So we're under the x-axis. Now we're below the x-axis. So I still want to leave negative 1, 0, 1, 2. I don't want to change that. But I want to make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Woo! Just made it. There's negative 20. Okay? So I'm going to go by ones all over this whole thing just to kind of show you how it's supposed to look. So the first number I need to graph is negative 1 and then negative 2.5. And you're going to mark halfway between that negative 2 and that negative 3. Just do the best you can. And then 0, negative 5. So we got negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Here's 0, negative 5. Let's mark that. Okay, there it is. And then 1, negative 10. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9. Here's 1, negative 10. So mark that. And then 2, negative 20, way down here. So you can see that we are kind of dropping down just like this. Okay? And then this part, remember, that's getting infinitely closer to the x-axis. And this is going to get wider and wider, moving away from the y-axis. So we don't have that traditional J hook like we did in the first one. It's kind of an upside down J, more or less, kind of like that. But this is indicative that you have a number where A is negative. When A is negative, you're going to be below the x-axis just like that. Okay? So that's what I wanted to show you for that one. Check with your calculator. So go to your y equals, plug in negative 5 times 2 raised to the x power, and then graph it, and it should look like what you see on paper. Okay? Well, that's it. Write down any questions you may have and try B and C for extra credit. Remind me that I said that because I will forget. Thank you, and I'll see you in class.